you scurvy bricksters. Let's make a Pirates of the Caribbean flag today, shall we? Come watch and join me as I make a flag for ye. Okay guys, so we're going to make some labels, and here's how we do it. We load up the Cricut design space, and what we get here is this right here. And we say new because we want to create new text. So we got the blank thing, and we'll just click on the text tab, and it brings up the little box, and you can type your text in here, whatever you want. So we are going to be typing in the Pirates label, so, well, Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, what we're going to do this in 2 layers because we have to have 2 different size fonts. So we're going to take this here. It's just kind of finicky, so we just have to grab it and move it up a little bit. And once we do that, we are going to make the second layer where it says of the. So what we're going to do first, though, is change the font to Pieces of 8. We go into our system fonts because that's on our computer, and we type in pieces for search, and up comes the font. Now once we get that, it automatically changes the font to what we want. So we just do this again, add another text block, and we will create of the, and we're just going to do it down here somewhere, and put that between Pirates and Caribbean, and that will be the smaller text. And of course we just size it down or scale it down. We stick it in there, and we are already in that font, so we are good to go. And what I generally do is get the linear spacing and the vertical spacing changed a little bit here. Just tighten things up a bit because it is spread out quite a bit. So depends on the font. I like to change that around just a bit, so I will just play with that till I get what I want, really. And then what I will do after the fact, I get them all where I want them. I will take them and I generally group them together, so it's one big thing. And you'll see over to the right they're both grayed. So you can do it manually like I'm doing here, or you can click both of them and then you just go up to the top and hit group, and that groups them as one, and then you can move the whole thing around instead of just moving just the one type of thing. So you know, makes life easier for when you're plotting it out on the plotter and type of thing instead of whatever. But anyway, I'm going to be changing the color of that from black to sort of a gold color because I just like color on my projects better than black. And this is great if you have multiple labels or whatever you're doing on the same project, because it will sort the mats out into specific colors, and that way you know, you'll cut all your gold at once generally, and your greens on another mat, blues on another mat, etc., etc. So it's great that way. If you have them all black, it'll cut them all as one mat, and really you don't want that. So I'm just kind of scaling this for about 2 inches or so right here, and see from there where we go, because I want to make that on the flag. So we're pretty much done there. So we're going to hit the save button right up top there next to the My Projects and Make It right in the middle, and we'll call it Pirates or POC or something like that. So we just have a name to the thing, and we don't want it to be public, otherwise you'll end up sharing it with anyone else who's in the Cricut design space. And now we just click on Make It, and what Make It will do, will send everything to the mat. And here's your mat. So this is your virtual mat right here, and pretend that the big yellow spot is your piece of vinyl on the mat, and you place your design where you want it. Now sometimes you may have cut vinyl already in different spots, and it's not perfect. Like this is not perfect here for mine, so I had to rearrange it just a little bit and bring it down a little bit, or it's going to cut where there's no vinyl. So once I get that done, you hit continue, and it searches for the Bluetooth on the machine. Some of the newer ones have it built in. I have the module that plugs in my Cricut machine. Okay, so it's just sorting the mats out here, and once again we're going to hit continue because we want to get it moved down to where we want it on our mat because it wasn't quite correct, and we got to make sure we got everything proper before we cut it. So we're just going to move it down to about an inch because that's about where we have the vinyl set on our mat, and make sure everything is in the proper position, both parts or both sections for the cut. And anyway, we'll get that positioned, and when we do, we hit continue, of course. This is kind of a little bit of a repeat, but anyway, it'll search for the Bluetooth, it will find it, and it'll say, okay, set your machine to vinyl, and you go to your machine and you press the Cricket Go button. And when you do that, you're ready to go. And here's the machine now, cutting it out. So, we have our mat, we have our vinyl on it, we have it laid out where we want it, sent to the machine, and it's just waiting for us to hit it. So we're going to load the mat first, got that centered, make sure our vinyl is nice and stuck to it, and we hit our cut button, and it will do the rest. I'm just going to speed this up so it goes along a bit faster for video purposes. And the light is flashing now, so we are ready to eject that mat. I'm not sure if you can see it there. We'll try to focus in on it a little bit better. There we go. You can see it right there. It has it all cut out. That's awful big, but yeah, it'll probably work. So right now I'm just going to cut off the excess that we don't need to save it for another project. Not that it's relatively expensive or anything, but we should save and try to conserve everything we can these days. So put that in the vinyl box, and we have our sticker sheet now. There we go, and we'll start peeling this off. And the technical term for this is weeding this out. And that doesn't mean other things. It's what it's called, weeding it. You weed out the parts that you don't want. And we have special tools for that. And we'll go do that now. Okay, so I usually have my crooked tool, but I put it somewhere the other day, and oh, I think I left it down in the display area. So now we're going to pull off the vinyl. You have to use one of your weeding tools to do this. So I'm going to pull off the vinyl that we're not using, and it comes off pretty snazzy, and it leaves the lettering behind. Most of it, that is. You gotta be real careful with the smaller details because it may not come out as well. See? Oh shoot, got that on my finger. Now gonna have to put that there for a minute. We'll deal with him shortly afterwards. You gotta be patient when doing these. Just can't rip them off because they're very, very small. Especially those ones. Stick that stuff back down. Sometimes you gotta play around with it. Hold on to it. Depends on the cut too. If you have a lot of fancy cutting, it can be a little more tricky. However, when you're doing block letters and that, it's not so bad, but the fancy stuff can be really tricky. And graphics themselves can be tricky. So, we got most of it out. Now we have to get our O back there. We don't want the center of the O. We don't need him. We do need the letter though. The letter O. 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 The letter O. Come on, letter O. I want to put him back right about where he should have been. Yeah. Okay. Now we got to pick out the little letters, little parts of the letters. That is. So there's only one there. That's why you have the sharp tools for weeding this stuff out. They call it weeding because it's just like weeding the garden. You're pulling out the stuff that you don't want. Now you can take this and apply it to your table, your Lego, or model, or whatever it is that you're creating. Today we're making the flag with this particular sign. So, we got our piece of material. Now this is a little bit heavier than broadcloth, but it was something else we used. So we're going to take this and we're going to put that on there like that. I'm just going to back this up a bit so you can see it a little better. And then we'll cut out the outline of like the sail. And this is going to be a little bit a different tutorial because we're going to use this as a flag. So I'm going to show you now what we're going to do. Let's get some tape and go from there. Okay, so that's lifted that right off. Now, let's get this on our material here. And that seems about right there. We're trying to model this flag after the Pirates of the Caribbean ride in Disney World in Florida. So, it's going to be interesting to see if this comes off. It's going to be tricky, I think. We might have to do this letter by letter. It's going to take some time, but we'll get it. Now you might ask, why am I doing it this way? Isn't there an easier way? Because this is taking a long time. Well, yes, there is an easier way. It's called heat transfer vinyl, and I do use that, but it is also very expensive when you come to like the colors, specialty colors like this, like gold and that. Although once you cut it out, you just put it on the heat press and press it right onto the material, and it goes right into it, and it's bonded in there for like ever, and it's awesome. So yes, but when I'm only going to do a little teeny project like this, I don't really want to use the heat press. I just wanted to make the stickers to show you how to make stickers, and you can do with this, and make sure it's pressed down good, because this is permanent vinyl. It will stick. It's just right now the humidity in here is really something else, so it's taking a bit of time to do that. But on the plus side of things, there's what it turned out to be like. So actually it turned out relatively really good. So we just got to cut out the shape of the sail now on that and mount that somehow to like a mast or tree or something like that, like they have down at Disney, and everything will be just perfect. And that's how you make your custom stickers for your mocks. So we're not finished with this flag yet. Well, we got into the shape roughly that we want it to be like a flag. But now there are some holes in the original flag picture. So what we're going to do is obviously look at that picture and then go from there and put some holes into this sucker. Okay, for this next part, there is a warning. If you use a burning device like a lighter or scissors even, or anything, a candle, you can injure yourself, so please be careful. Why don't you just have an adult do this, or someone that is capable of doing this without hurting themselves? Because we don't want to see anybody get hurt, and we don't expect you to make a project and hurt yourself. So we don't want to accept any liability for doing this next part, so please, please be careful at what you do, as with any project that you make. Now, when you have someone do this for you, make sure you have an adult or someone do this for you, because you can catch this on fire and you don't want to do that. There's one down here. We're trying to do this as authentic as we can, without burning ourselves, of course. Okay, we burned out a little bit too much, but that's okay. Gives it the illusion of, you know, a cannonball or something going through it. And we got a couple more to put up there. And there. We have our cannon hole flag. It's pretty cool.